So my current strat is just Jungle Valley, and so my current strat is just Jungle Valley. Depending how tanky you are, you can run tank mods. This is no mods except increased HP for uniques. We are running Beyond, so there's Beyond, Breaches, Breach Scarab. Run Domination for Shrines if you're weaker, run Breach if you're stronger. We're stronger, so we're gonna run Breach. And we're doing X-Arc. So, great clear. We'll do a little bit of map, showcase the build. I'm just doing this right now mostly for XP. We are level 97. Clear's great, obviously. Winter Orb, right? Still great clear. With the buffs, it does allow you to clear a little bit better on bad gear. So if you're weak, just skip the Breach Lords. Other than the what's it called? Chayula, the purple guy. Breach Stones aren't worth a lot, and Breach Splinters aren't worth a lot. So if you are a little bit weaker, just don't do the Breach Lord. Just kill everything else. Should be able to kill the rares, the blues, and the other packs. But if you're stronger, you can kill the Breach Lords, or you have a chance to drop a Breach Stone on kill. That's pretty nice. And with the changes, the Splinters drop on your feet, so that's quite nice. I'm trying to get level 21 Winter Orb, and we're still working on that. Single target is always been the problem as far as Winter Orb goes. Still hasn't changed, even with the buffs. Obviously, if you have good enough gear, it's fine. Freeze, helping your defense. See right here, I could stay around to kill Ash, but why? Right? If you're weaker, just avoid them. I will say the Breach Lords are pretty scary at points because they do Esh with his Ball Lightning, Toll with his little Frost wave thing is pretty dangerous. And Chayula, when she does the spin, could be really rippy, so be careful of the Breach Lords, basically. Everything else should be fine. You should be able to freeze most of the rares, so it shouldn't be too bad. And overall, I've been doing this strat. You do get a lot of kills, a lot of XP in particular, and decent amount of drops. Pretty good. See a single target here. You can kill this guy.
So be it.
Drop the Frost shield, curse him with Assassin's Mark, and let's go to town.
What are you waiting for? Take your trophy.
You might have to dodge a little bit if you're a little bit weaker, and you can't just straight up tank at a certain point, but that is the current strat. So this is the other strat we're running. We are running Domination, Influencing Shaper, Increased Maps, Cartography Escalation for drops, Pack Size for the Shaper mod. Maybe get a good Shaper helmet or something. That drops. That's sellable. Syndicate, because we're doing a Syndicate. Nico to force Nico so we can go a little faster. Witness with Maven, Domination. And we are doing Silo Spam. You basically want no tank mods because you just care about speed, honestly. Only thing we're stopping is Syndicate to do that. So we are just running through the map. Gonna prepare, grab the shrines. Like I said, we're doing Syndicate. It's just straight line map, so you can do it pretty fast.
There's only one.
Yeah, here,
that was vivid.
Sure. Doesn't matter who we have in there. We are just spamming the intervention safe house and the transportation, in particular for Vicious. Vicious is good drops. Other than that, nothing else.
Do you know how
Animals, I don't care.
Like I said, we're not stopping for anything else. This is a very nice map. Just straight line, not really anything to it. Stopping for the Syndicate right here, research. And that's basically it. It's a very fast, pretty relaxed playstyle with Winter Orb. If you have the damage, you do this strat, right? Shouldn't be too crazy here. I think maybe between Merc and all my gear at this point, maybe 10 to 20 divines would take.
That brute.
Slate with you, Mr. Forge.
Warm night.
So it takes me, was it, where's the exit? Right there. I don't know. A couple minutes per map, basically. Scouting reports are not bad, actually, now. But yeah. You actually don't need, shrines. A lot of times I just do, just quantity, honestly. The shrines do make it a little bit faster if you get speed shrine along the way. If you need a little bit more damage in gear because you are under geared, you can definitely use shrines to help out a little bit. Because you should have all the shrines up by the time you get to the boss, usually.
What are you waiting for?
But
Take your trophy and go.
if you're strong enough, you can just do quantity and just not waste the chaos on the shrines. It's an option. So we get to the boss. We're gonna phase them. Maven summons all the map bosses that can be witnessed. We just care about the drops here. So as soon as you kill these bosses, you want to leave. You don't want to actually kill the silo boss. That way we can just spam silo over and over again and run it in a loop. So unlucky here, we didn't drop any maps. And we're out. We don't actually want to kill that guy. That way we can just run another silo right away. So for our league starter, we actually started as Elementalist. I want to try out the new changes with Elementalist, especially the golems. The Elementalist is quite good as a league starter. I did level up as Wintertide Cold Dot. Actually, we blew through the campaign. It was super smooth. As soon as you get that Chaos Golem up, you get so much free dot multi. The Lightning Golem, I think, yeah, takes care of your regen. Flame Golem gives you a little bit AoE, and Stone Golem gives you regen. So at the beginning, I was not using Stone Golem. I was using Chaos Golem, and yeah, I mean Ice Golem. I mean that's a crit one, yeah. We were not using the Ice Golem at the start. We're using Chaos for the dot multi, but at this point we want the crit, so we have Ice Golem, and I don't need dot multi since we're not cold dot anymore. So super smooth league starter. I swapped day one, like late day one, just to see how Winter Orb would feel like in white maps. So I think I did like 10 white maps and swapped over. Do not do that. Winter Orb is still pretty weak early on. It just doesn't have a single target, even with the updated buffs to Winter Orb. It just sucks. Level up as Cold Dot or whatever other skill you want. And then when you get to around level 90 or so, then you have some gear ready to swap. You can swap to a Winter Orb. Then Winter Orb, it does feel stronger, but overall, still the same problem. Great clear, terrible single target, and it's still the case, so this is mostly a map clear build. We did get my 4 stones on it, but I needed 6 link and about like maybe 5 to 10 divs worth, around 5 divs worth of gear, but was not comfortable. Like, the kills were very slow for my 4 stones. And I would say, in particular, some of them are annoying, like Exarch, because you have golems. Golems stink, as far as, like, gameplay-wise, because they detonate the flaming meatballs, you know, when you have to dodge that during the Exarch phase. They actually detonate them. They touch your golems, so even if you dodge it, your golems are going to set them off, and then the meatballs have an AoE, and I got killed by that, because I forgot that golems even, like, do that. So a bit obnoxious, and the clutter to have golems and the merc, sort of annoying, I will say, for the build, but since we are auto-firing and sort of like a turret with Winter Orb, it's not the worst, right? So overall, still pretty fun to see the explosions between Herald Ice and my clear single target, still meh. But overall, buffed in Winter Orb, but same spot, really. Just a map clear. Even if you invest in a bit, eventually you can do some single target, but honestly, there are much better options overall. Anyways, I have the rest of the info for gear and etc. on the build. If you have any questions, you can see me on Twitch, and thanks for watching.
The moment
So I'm going to go over the Merc really quickly and his gear. We are getting the Zealotry Aura, Wrath Aura from him. The Wrath doesn't really matter, it's just extra damage aura that my Merc showed up with. Zealotry is the most important aura. His attacks don't really matter. He does a little bit of damage, but nothing in particular like crazy. So as far as the gear goes, we have crafted everything, and the only thing he's missing is the Emperor Garb in the chest. We'll buy that later. That gets us crit immunity and doesn't let our action speed go down below the base. That means we can be freeze and chill immune with that on my Merc. The Merc's pretty tanky. He's only died a couple times to really bad mods, like in the tier 16.5 or tier 17 maps. But in general, he doesn't really die. Here's our stats: 5k HP, 1350 regen, 75, 75, 75, 57 res, 25 block. These are all the stats. Okay. As far as the gear goes, so I use the Awakener Orb on the wand. We are doing a Zealotry effect. That does affect us. I tested it. So that's up to 40% more increased effect. I believe the Merc starts with like a level 20 equivalent Zealotry is what they get for auras. So it's a good mod there. And then you get whatever curse you need. In my case, Frostbite on hit. You can do LE weakness on hit also possible. With Awakener Orb. The rest of the mods don't matter. Cast speed would be the best, so we can tax a little faster, since we are using my Merc to apply all the curses. So that's curse 1 right here. Elemental weakness with Ascendancy. That's how you see the sand explosions during the map clear. It does help with the clear a little bit. Every little bit helps with the Herald of Ice explosions and the flash also. So between those three, my clear is pretty good. This is 2 curses here: Temp Chains and Elemental Weakness. So you can see right here, we have 3 curses total. So how are we doing all my curses? I am self-applying Assassin's Mark. That's 1. He has Anathema Ring. That means his power charge total equals his curse limit. Right here on his amulet, we have Allocate Overcharge, which is +1 power charge maximum. So he has 4 power charges. That means he can do up to 4 curses. He is doing 1, 2, 3 curses here on hit. And then my Assassin's Mark is the 4th curse. Belt here is 25% damage fizz as fire converted from enemies. That plus our ascendancy with 40% fizz to fire conversion makes us pretty tanky against fizz hits. That's how I'm taking care of most of my fizz hit requirement. And then determination works really well against that 35% remaining physical hit. So that's why we are stacking armor a bit. Like I said, chest, Emperor Garb eventually. Ring, you need this for the curse limit. This other ring's just stats. This is also stats, resist, nothing special. Shield, same thing. You want the suffix open for increased effect of curses. The Eternal Struggle is very strong. It gives us 15% coal if Searing Exarch mod is dominant, which it is in this case. So it gives a little bit of defense to your Merc, some stats, which is more life in particular. And 15% coal, which is nice. And the helmet, I use a Woke Orb with a Shaper and a Redeemer base for -9 nearby and 6% more elemental damage taken. And that's it for my gear. This guy costs around 5 divs or so for all this gear. Probably another 5 or so, I think, for the Garb. And then that is my Merc. Go over my gear really quickly for an overview. Most of this is starting gear, honestly. We picked up day 2. I've been slowly trying to craft like actual endgame gear, but I haven't gotten a chance to get to it yet. This is about 5 divs total, at least for the gear here, give or take, at least when I bought it. It's probably cheaper now because it's all like day 2 gear, honestly. You just want a Wand, Scepter, or Rune Dagger, generic spells, spell damage, cold damage, flat cold, cast speed, crit, and +1. Eventually you want a +2 Wand or Scepter or whatever. But yeah, that's good enough for now. This is just a placeholder. I just needed some chaos res, so I swapped this in. I was using a curse on hit ring before, but obviously I put all my curses on my Merc, so this is just temporary. The gloves, the most important mod is cold exposure on hit. Because we're elementals, we do extra 25. You want the first hit to always expose, so that's really important. Unnerve on the other Eldritch mod because you'll eventually get Unnerve on the enemy because we hit so many times with Winter Orb. Just generic stats other than that. Resistance, armor, ES. Boots, eventually we want a Eldritch mod for the Flame Golem or whatever golem you feel like you want more. Flame Golem for more AoE, so better overlaps for Winter Orb is what I'm thinking. I need to craft the endgame boots, but yeah, nothing special here. Belt, nothing special again. Chest, the most important Eldritch mod is 20% increase effect of your golems. This is like placeholder. We just made this like day 2, honestly. I bought 6 link and just essenced whatever I got, you know. The Eater Eldritch mod can be probably determination or buff effect, or effect, I mean. There's nothing really important there. Most important is just the golem effect. The ring, generic stats, cast speed, cold damage if you can get it, or crit multi is also good. And yeah, nothing too crazy. This one is a +1 amulet. Eventually you want to get a +2 amulet. This is just stats, crit multi, nothing. Shield int base because you want some damage, in this case cold damage, and +1, and more resist. And finally the helmet. Nothing really special here. You probably want pen on your helmet eventually. Yeah, just resist. So all my gear is like maybe 2 divs. I even have double life flask, which I shouldn't be using. Eventually we probably want a ruby flask to help with the clear, better AoE, extra projectiles for clear. Quicksilver. Cinder Swallow is pretty nice. It does help with clear a little bit because it ignites and they take 10% more damage. We always ignite because we are Elementalist, and the mod you are looking for is ES gain on kill. That'll help with the ES recovery. Granite flask for more armor, and yeah, that's it for the gear. Gems. Stone Golem in my dagger. Frost Shield. Flame Dash for movement, shield charge, faster attacks, Assassin's Mark, which is the only thing I'm applying myself for a single target in particular. Herald Device, Determination, Flame Golem, Tempest Shield in the helmet. GMP, Infused Channeling, Increased Crit Strikes, Winter Orb, Awakened Cold Damage Support. You can use Hypothermia. It's probably better until you can get to level 5, I believe, for the +1 level 2 Winter Orb. I'm just putting it there since I'm getting XP anyways. It's not too much of a difference. I think hypothermia is a little bit, like 1 or 2% better for quite a while. Like I said, until level 5. Multi. In the gloves, we have cast 1 damage taken, linked with Molten Shell for some defense, some Lightning Golem and Ice Golem. This one, I got enough damage, non-damaging ailment effect that my Winter Orb does 65% shock at this point and 30% chill. This is just Cold Snap for Bone Chill mostly. You can use Unbound Ailments. I'm just leveling this up on the side. And Arcane Surge. Mostly Cold Snap, Arcane Surge here, and Bone Chill for a little bit more damage. This used to be Unbound Ailments. I don't really use it anymore because we're already at 65% shock, so the Bone Chill doesn't add that much, but it is a little bit, and we do press it every once in a while to get Arcane Surge, and Cold Snap does allow you to get Frenzy Charges. You probably want an Evolve version eventually, so you can get Frenzy Charges through that in a single target. Yeah. So here's a placeholder tree. I do have to change the tree quite a bit. Crit Multi, Life Jewel, this one's actually pretty nice. Double Crit Multi. I think this pathing is wrong. I swapped jewels for a while. I thought I might need to increase duration for just smoothness of play for Winter Orb, but with the less stages on the Winter Orb, you can charge up much faster. So this isn't really worth it, and obviously this is a great spot. You get 36% AoE for more overlaps, cast speed, a bunch of good stats, like just stats, regen, max mana. But overall, I would say this is not worth it. I'm gonna swap the tree, but I bought this a while ago. Like I said, I thought we might need the duration for smoothness of play, but it ended up not being a problem. So I would not go there. You could probably go through here, get some spell block here. That's probably a much better pathing route. So I'm gonna change that in the future. Right here, nothing in particular special. These are just generic jewels. They're actually pretty terrible. I think this is around, other than the Unnatural Instinct, this is around 5 divs, mostly for the, right here, the Cluster Jewel. This is 3 divs I bought, I remember. So what does this give me? 60% elemental damage, which is really big. We chill, we shock, we ignite, so that's always on. The Prismatic Heart, nice, 10 res, 30 damage. And we get our leech through here for our life, pretty strong. So very good cluster, 3 divs it cost me. Other than that, I do want to eventually get 75 block, but I have to craft a new shield and swap the tree and probably maybe get a small cluster node for some block eventually. but we'll work on that eventually. So this is just a like mostly day 2, day 3 gear. Eventually I will get full end game gear and make an update video when I do that. Right here, this is really important. Storm Rider. This is a clear map clearing build, right? So for QOL, you need this to get power charges. Otherwise, you gotta do Assassin's Mark, then you kill the enemy, and then you get a power charge. But that's very clunky because you gotta spam Assassin's Mark. Doesn't feel good. So that's why we have Storm Rider here for a medium cluster. And we have increased ailment effect. Between all my ailment effect on tree, we can do 65% shock on every single winter orb hit. So that's a nice QOL. Generic jewel. Zealot's Oath. So we are leeching through here, so that's our life leech. That's how we heal our life. And we do actually have a decent amount of life regen, mostly through our stone golem. So you can see right here, like I said, mostly through our stone golem. That's 500 ES gain per second. That's how you keep up your ES. Quite nice. And when we're clearing the 1%, you can roll up to 3% on the Cinder Swallow. ES on kill is very nice to keep up the ES, and then the life. You just heal. You recover through leech. Nothing in particular crazy here. And we have a inspired learning because I am map clearing. Really nice. Obviously a headhunter would be GG for the build. But this is a nice inspired learning area. Eventually, I do also want to add a automated war cry for enduring cry. See if we can get endurance charges to that to get tankier. And that's it for the tree. So priority, as soon as you can afford it, get the cluster. Mostly, if you can't afford it, get a 2 cluster, 2 mod leech, and probably damage here through status. And then after that, you want this medium cluster, Storm Rider, Astonishing for just QOL. If you feel like you are not killing fast enough and you are dying quite a bit, another option is Blast Freeze plus Storm Rider. Blast Freeze will freeze the enemy, so it will be safer for you. At this point, I have enough damage, so I felt like Astonishing Affliction is slightly better because you get more damage through that. And those are the 2 options, and that is the tree. So this is a snapshot of my current tree. As far as you see for farming in the jungle valleys, we are doing all the breach nodes, some quant, some shrines, just to help out with the clear. And we're doing red guy because the red Exarch altars are much nicer for our build. We have a lot of charges, so there's a lot of mods we just cannot use on the green side. So that's why we're doing the Exarch altars instead. And we have Beyond here. And that is my current tree for Breach and Beyond. And my other strat I was running is boss rushing with Syndicate. We got all the Syndicate nodes. Some Nicos just so we can go faster. This is just rushing Silo. We are just getting shrines. We don't care about anything. We just do the Syndicate in the Silo straight down the line. Run to the boss. Kill the Maven, witness the map bosses, and then leave and don't actually kill the Silo boss. So we can just repeat Silo over and over again. And that is the 2 strats I'm running currently